This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in Orlando, Florida. I'm here with T. Stephenson. Since 2020, she's been creating purpose and wealth in this thing we call life through real estate, both commercial and residential. Let's start off a little bit about yourself. I mean, you were formally educated at the Ohio Christian University. You're really a business owner, a business specialist, tax specialist. You're definitely not afraid of the hustle. You're not afraid to wear quite a few hats. Share with me a little bit how this passion of real estate got started for you.
So for me, real estate wasn't what I was originally going to do. I was originally going to school for medical. That was my purpose. I studied psychology. I'm like, why not become a doctor if I have to get a PhD for what I really want to do? So it was a long road, and I don't know if many of you might see it on my YouTube video on how I got started in real estate. It wasn't easy, but because I got fired from my job the same day I started my real estate course.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a hefty story.
Right, and the funny part is that I went into work, ready to work, and I actually spoke to a co-worker of mine, and he said that he was in real estate, and I'm like, I've been trying to get in real estate. Because medicine didn't work out for me because of the fact that I couldn't get my immunizations since I was a little baby. And my doctor was retired at the time. So everything was done on paperwork.
Wow.
So it was hard. I called her, I called the health department, I called everyone, and everything I could think of to do, I did. It was no luck for me. I couldn't even volunteer at Florida Hospital. So my goal was to just figure out what I really wanted to do, because I know that with me playing sports, I wanted to be an orthopedic surgeon. And when I decided to become a surgical tech so I can learn from other doctors, as well as volunteer at Florida Hospital, when they told me that I couldn't, my dreams were shot.
Yeah.
I thought this is, my life is over. I don't know what else to do. Basketball and sports is my only other options. And then real estate fell in my lap. Kind of sort of fell in my lap. I ran into my coworker, he mentioned it, and then I actually asked him, can I get the information for that school you went to, Nova Southeastern University? And he gave me the number for the instructor. I called the instructor, and the instructor said, we start classes tonight. And I said, tonight? And he like, yeah, tonight. And I'm like, well, do you have any other courses? He like, yeah, the next week or two. I said, well, I'm just gonna do it. Why not just do it? And then later on that day, someone came to replace me. I didn't know I was getting fired. Someone came to replace me. And I'm like, wow, I just lost my job. And how am I going to pay for these real estate courses? That's what I'm thinking. Like, how are you going to do it?
Wow, but obviously you're here today. This is something you pursued. You relentless went after it. I mean, quite honestly, the American dream is real estate. Owning your own home. It's an exciting time for people out there to do that. Yet at the same time, it's kind of scary for them. It's overwhelming. Why are you happy to help people out there as they basically navigate on that journey?
So my purpose is to help people. And overall, I love helping people because no one gets to where they are without a little help.
Right.
And for me, buying your first home or selling your first investment property, that's a big step, especially for families. And so my goal is for me to help them and to clarify the real estate market for them to understand.
I look at you as somebody who is basically you're a business professional, but you're people driven. You're a people driven professional. Do you enjoy the listening process? Do you enjoy listening to what their needs are so that you can best serve them?
Honestly, I do. When you think about it, I wear many hats, and just for instance, with health insurance, I listen to people's needs and I offer solutions to their needs. And so for me, I am a good listener, and with me studying psychology, I'm able to sit there and listen to people and take in what they're telling me, and also at the same time think, how can I help them this way? How can I help them that way? Whether it be taxes, whether it be real estate, whether it be any one of my businesses that I do, just overall helping them, because you never know, like that one person you might help someone else, or might help you further than what you thought.
Really a ripple effect is something you've been at the end of. How important is communication for you with your client, being accessible so that basically they can sleep at night and realize that they're not in this alone?
It is very important, very crucial. Communication is the key to everything, in my opinion. I've had actually an instance where there was poor communication on the mortgage lender side. And the poor communication led to a ripple effect, led to my client calling me and was like, basically saying, I don't understand what happened. I don't understand what he's talking about. And so for me, I don't use that lender anymore, but for me, it's very important because in the process, especially in the loan process and buying a home, if you don't communicate with the clients, if you don't communicate with, your lenders and stuff, then the deal could fall apart. And for me, I even give out binders. Binders to let you know what to do during the buying or selling process and what not to do. Like some people, do things like buy a home during the buy a car during the home buying process. You can't do that because if you do that, you lose your chance of getting the home of your dreams.
That is interesting. I mean, as I look around me here in Florida. I mean, you live in a beautiful state of Florida. I see a lot of people moving into the state. Why is it important for people to line themselves up with a realtor who actually knows the area like yourself?
Like you said, who knows the area? Realtors know the area. This is their market. So for me and my company, we as realtors, we know our market, current market condition, the community, everything. And so for people, for example, I had a buyer who bought a house came from California and bought a house with me. With her being all the way in California, she doesn't know Florida market. And she needed my assistance, of course, to help her her buy her dream home. So for me, that's very important. Knowing your market, knowing your communities, knowing where to put someone in because she had a family, but she's a single mom. And so putting her in the right area and not a bad area, not only that protection, that's as a realtor, that's that extra layer of protection. Just knowing more than the average person as far as the market goes.
So it really depends on people's needs out there. Like she's looking for a first home in the area. Other people, they're looking for multiple homes. They're looking for an investment. Why is this important for you to help them add to their investments with real estate as they create wealth?
Because for me, especially wealth creation, and for me it's all about generational wealth, creating that generational wealth for your future family. And, because if you don't, it's selfish. And so for me, I understand investors. I know that what their goals are, and not only that, as far as investments go, investments is important as far as that goes because real estate is all about diversifying your portfolio. So for me, I know eventually I want to open my own international investment company. And for me, it's the reason why I want to do international is because I want to diversify my portfolio so that if something was to happen to the market, I'm able to still capitalize on everything else. I don't lose because of one area that I'm in. So for me, it's all about, especially with investors, I know that it's important to diversify their portfolio, but it's also important to diversify it in many different categories, especially real estate.
That is interesting. I mean, basically, you chose eXp Realty to be an agent with them. Do you feel that approach is good for you because the fact is it's really not office orientated. This is really a way you can still do what you're able to do and still at the same time focus on your client.
For me, having an office wasn't the most crucial thing. For me, is being able to have access to a brokerage that will not take more than half of my commission or take a franchise fee on top of it.
Right.
And not only that, be able to be with a brokerage that gives you a chance to get stocks in the company, gives you a chance to build with the company and not just be another number.
Yeah, that is interesting. Gold Key certified, is that a certain area that you have experience in? Share with me a little bit there.
So I became Gold Key certified through Aura. Basically is knowing a little bit more because most people, they get into real estate. They don't try to learn, more about real estate. They just try to sell houses. For me, it's a lifelong thing. It's a passion of mine. So the more certifications, the better. And so for me, I got the Gold Key certification because it lets you know that you're not just a basic realtor, that you're trying to advance to something more.
Exactly. Obviously, it's real estate changes all the time. You want to work with somebody who's on top of the game. They weren't, educated 5 years ago, and now they're still working on that. I mean, not only are you able to help people with real estate, but you're also able to help individuals, companies protect themselves legally, insurance. You even have your own notary business. Why do you think it was important to have those areas of knowledge to expand yourself in so that you can better serve your client?
Because what I do is I do with need-based businesses. Taxes, insurance, legal shield, they're all need-based businesses. People need lawyers. People need tax advisors. People need realtors. So for me, it's being able to put all that together and be a one-stop shop for my clients. For them to know, like, hey, she knows what she's doing because she has a background in this and she has a background in that. So she knows, when I buy my house, to make sure I get my homestead exemption. When I buy my house, just to make sure that I get a note. She has a company if necessary to sign the loan documents. They're knowledgeable about it and they know what they're doing. So for me, it's all about having that overall foundation to expand into something bigger to help my clients in each and every aspect of their life.
Before I said you were a people-driven professional. I mean, at the end of the day, for you, this is about helping people, regardless of what company you're working with, what different areas you serve. Is this kind of your way of giving back to your community?
It is, sort of, but I actually want to do more. Once I get further along in my career, I actually want to open a nonprofit. A nonprofit foundation to give back, to teach people stuff that I didn't know when I was younger. Because in school, they teach you how to learn, but they don't teach you how to live, in my opinion. And so for me, it's more of teaching people stuff that they didn't know when they was out of high school to transition into the real world. Like, how to balance a checkbook, how to buy a house, how to open a business. Credit is important. Things that you didn't know when you were younger, and how important it was when you're younger to transition. Because when you get out of high school, the only way you learn that is if you go through college and you pay for it. Not many people, especially from where I'm from, make it through college or make it to college. So for me, it's more about building that foundation for people that are coming after me. So my goal is to overall help people and to bring about, a change in the world. And to make impact, because my grandmother said to me one day when I was going to college, it was between a college and military, she says, there are many Tahirahs in this world, but make sure your name is remembered. No matter what you do, make sure your name is remembered. And that always stuck with me.
I believe that. Remember your name. It's T. I think people out there are going to remember as well. Viewers, let's take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is her website. First of all, on the website, learn a little bit more about her and the many services she's provided to you. You can also go to the website and take a look at the different listings they have out there as well. They got a complete MLS listing. If you're looking to buy or sell, you name it, it's definitely got the resources for you right there. Remember, this is an individual who is really there to help, at the end of the day, navigate you through the journey of basically creating wealth through real estate, be it residential or commercial. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know.